The one-child policy in China is polarizing, controversial, and it's changing. Mao Zedong supported the idea of Chinese people having as many children as possible. This was influential in a population boom that totaled 960 million by 1976. But in 1979, the policy was first mandated nationwide to better control the massive population and distribution of resources. By 2007, under 40% of the population had to strictly adhere to the laws. There's still a lot of gray area in the figure. Now that China's population is starting to age quickly, the government has decided to consider more leniency with the one-child policy. In November of 2013, the Chinese government released that the one-child policy would be loosened up. The new one-child policy allows couples to have 2 children if one of them is a single child. It used to require both parents to be an only child. In China's 2 sessions, many members who participated in the meeting came with proposals related to the new one-child policy. The National People's Congress delegate Ma Xu proposed that the government should start to design the plan to simply get rid of the one-child policy. Ma also wants to work on policies to better prepare for the demographic changes to come. According to Ma's proposal, the new one-child policy will lead to an increase of 2 million newborns each year. Ma stressed that the new one-child policy will have a dramatic effect on balancing demographics. The Chinese government released that as of this year, the number of people 60 years and older has exceeded 200 million. That accounts for almost 15% of the total population. The proportion is higher than the Aging Society standard of 10% made by the United Nations. The China Aging Problem National Commission predicted that in the next 20 years, the aging population will increase by 10 million each year. By 2050, the elderly population will take up 1/3 of China's total population. There have always been major problems with the policy, but now the problems will affect the size of the workforce and national healthcare costs. China, without its massive workforce, wouldn't be the manufacturing powerhouse it is today, so its sudden sympathy can be seen as very pragmatic. The policy is often implicated for an increase in forced abortions, gender imbalance, underreporting of female births, and female infanticide. As estimated by researchers, the policy averted 200 million births between 1979 and 2009. The new one-child policy aims to address the problem of father time. Beijing formally implemented the policy at the end of February of this year. Beijing authorities released that those qualified families who gave up the right to have a second child in a written declaration will be given about $82. This payoff fired up discussion among Chinese people. On March 7th, data was released showing that not a single person applied for it. That could mean that Beijingers did not think that $82 was worth giving up the right to a second child. Many qualified couples immediately went to apply for the rights to have a second child at local government departments. iFeng.com surveyed about 2,000 Chinese families who applied to have a second child. The survey showed that just about 31% of surveyed families will have a second child immediately after they apply. The other ones expressed they don't have any plans to have a second child, even if they get the certificates. Don't go away, because up next we'll continue to look at the new one-child policy. Stay tuned.